campground, y'all. Driving into Tombstone, Arizona. Arizona is quickly becoming one of my favorite states. But if you ride with us very long, you'll hear us say that about every state. Let's go check out Tombstone. Oh, here's parking. Really? Public parking, 3 blocks. All right, let's get parked. So I pulled onto the first little side street to the right when I got into Tombstone for parking. And I came down here and it's just a little dirt parking down there. And they have dry camping in the lower lot and then day camping in this upper lot. I'm just here for a little while today. Cars and trucks are $5 a day. RVs and motorhomes are $10 a day. So I need to get my $10 worth of Tombstone today. But I feel like I'm missing in the shootout gallery. I feel like I'm missing the show. Let's get up there. Saloon, Theater, Wyatt's Hotel. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Looks like they just had the Tombstone Film Festival this last weekend. It said the last weekend in January, so I've missed it by a few days. The OK Corral. Alright, let's just walk up to here and see what we can find. Smokey's Emporium. Alright, the Feed and Livery Stables. Tombstone's Historama, the story of Tombstone. We may have to go in there, y'all. So it looks like there's more parking up here. But it is a little more crowded. I wouldn't have wanted to come up here with my rig. Oh, the visitor center. Let's go in here. I know why I started a visitor center, but
I do too. Usually I'm going someplace, I like to know where the heck I am.
Yes.
And we started here because this is the oldest building left in Tombstone.
Oh, see, that's something I wouldn't have known.
It's been here since September of 1879. This is one of the last first-generation buildings left in Tombstone. This was here for about 3 months before the Earp Boys even got to Tombstone.
Yeah.
This is a first-generation building. If it looks like an old bank building, that is exactly what it was.
Right, that's what I thought. It's nice.
Pima County Bank, when this part of Arizona was still part of Pima County in 1879.
Okay.
2 years later, went through a name change, became the Cochise County Bank after we had county separation down here in the early part of 1881. 5 years after that, it became a hardware store.
Wow.
That was in 1886. That was a year you're going to hear about a few times today.
Okay.
That was the year the mining began to fail. And that was kind of the first domino that fell over and made a lot of other things happen in reaction to that. The big money was here for the mining. When the mining wasn't there, those folks started to clear out. They got real scarce. And so this went from being a bank to a hardware store. And then about 20 years after that, it became a hospital and medical center here in town in the early 1900s.
Wow. Right.
There are about 20 people left alive in town today who were born in this building in the 1940s and 1950s.
How interesting. Have you spoke with those people?
Oh, most definitely.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes.
There aren't a lot of first-generation families left here. There are some, though, and they have some great stories.
Okay.
They do.
I
They
bet
remember
they do.
the town before and after World War II, before the tourism boom caused by the movies back in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
Different incarnations of the town, as I like to call it.
Yes.
And
Yes, for sure.
Perspective on that. Oh, this is beautiful. This was the Cochise County Courthouse. They finished work on it at the end of 1882. It began to be used in January of 1883 and served us as our courthouse until 1930.
Okay.
And building this was a huge controversy. Huge controversy here in early Tombstone, simply because people wanted a town before they wanted a big fancy courthouse.
Oh, okay.
When we had county separation in 1881, our first sheriff, Johnny Behan, came down from Prescott. He was a Southerner and a Democrat, so he rubbed some people here the wrong way because a lot of the capital that was tied up here was Northern and Republican.
Yes.
But when he was appointed, they set aside $85,000 for a new courthouse.
Right.
This courthouse. And back then, of course, $1 was about $30 today. So we're saying really about $250,000. Huge boondoggle. I mean,
that's a lot of money for
to
them.
the side of the building, you can see exactly how huge the scale of this project was.
Yes.
When this was finished in 1882, it wound up being twice the size of the courthouse that then stood in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
3 times the size of the courthouse in Tucson.
Small little mining town
Absolutely.
had a larger courthouse.
3 times the size of the courthouse in Tucson and 4 times the size of the courthouse that stood in Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
At the time. They just kept building and building and building. Finally, the Epitaph newspaper asked Sheriff Behan in 1882, what is the point of this? What are you trying to say with all this? And he said, oh, this isn't for us. This is for the future of Tombstone. He said, I assure you, in the next 20 years, every new building in town will look just like the courthouse. That's the southeast corner of 3rd and Fremont Streets.
Okay.
That's where the gunfight happened between the Earps and the Cowboys. Historically.
Nice.
It was a vacant lot about 15 feet wide, about 30 feet deep. When the fight started, there were 11 men there. 2 of them had their horses with them. And once the shooting started, the whole thing spilled out in the middle of the road, in the middle of what's now Highway 80. Fremont Street as it goes through town. That's where the gunfight happened historically. It was called the street fight at the time because that's where it happened. It's never called the OK Corral gunfight in the lifetimes of anybody who participated in it. It was first called that 2 years after the last survivor died.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Literature. Wyatt had a tremendous case of PTSD and a tremendous case of survivor's guilt.
Oh,
because it was Wyatt's idea to bring the family here.
Yes.
Wyatt brought all 5 brothers here together. The first time all 5 brothers had been in one place was here in Tombstone.
Wow.
They pulled their money. They were going to open up saloons and gambling halls and kind of take over the business side of things here.
Right.
That was the idea. And of course, that went to hell pretty quickly.
Really quickly.
One brother got killed. One brother got crippled. They burned through all their money just trying to stay alive and stay out of prison. It didn't go anywhere near what Wyatt had hoped it would be. So no, coming back to Tombstone for him, not an appealing idea at all.
Oh, so I see this survivor guilt.
Exactly.
All right, folks, I'm here with Tim, and I just did the most wonderful Wild West walking tour with Tim. Very knowledgeable. So if you're ever here in Tombstone, make sure you look Tim up. Your website, what is your website?
Tombstone-ghost.com.
Yes, yes. So look up Tim and do this historical tour. You'll learn a whole lot. I did.
We'll see you in Tombstone.
All right, guys, I just wrapped up my tour with Tim. I'm thirsty and I'm hungry. So he recommended Big Nose Kate's. So that is where I'm headed. Hi, how are you? Big Nose Kate, y'all. It's a mix between a Long Island iced tea and a tequila sunrise. Isn't that pretty? And I will have to take note here that this is the first time I've ever ate in a restaurant alone. Can you believe it? Yeah. But I came in, sat at the bar. I think I'm a big girl now. Okay, so here I am in the lower camping area behind the courthouse. It was the first parking sign that I saw heading into town from the west side. So this down here is dry camping. I'm not sure what the cost is, but definitely an option for Tombstone, because I think you need a couple of days here to enjoy all of it. And then there's, you know, hiking trails surrounding. Guys, I have made a change of plans. I left Quartzsite yesterday morning. I drove about 4.5 hours to just about 15 minutes north of Tombstone. And as I came through the Ironwood National Forest area, near the National Forest area, I knew I had some friends that I'd met a few years ago. They were hanging out on the BLM land out there for the Arizona Ironwood meetup. It's not going to be often I'm going to get to make it out here for a meetup, so I went on to my destination in St. David. I enjoyed Tombstone today. Yes, I enjoyed Tombstone today, and now I am headed west again. But you know, it's still cold in Tennessee, so it is all good. It's 75 degrees here right now. Woo. I think all I have is long sleeves. I'm not sure. Not heavy long sleeves, but anyway, we're going to a second meetup, 2 for 1, y'all. All right, once I get into the Ironwood National Forest, I will jump back in here with you.